Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan with Her Courage to Plan. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video, I'm going to actually show you how we use Dave Ramsey's EveryDollar budget app to track our expenses. If you're not familiar with Dave Ramsey or the EveryDollar budget app, I'll definitely leave some links below where you can check out that information. I hope that you consider liking this video, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and hitting that notification bell so that you will not miss any videos that I upload. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you my screen. So in the EveryDollar app, you do have different categories. You have income, you have giving, savings, household expenses, and so forth. We have kind of changed the actual categories to fit our budget, and I'll show you that. So for instance, for income, we've kept that the same, and this is where you put in your income for the month, and I've went ahead and put in hubby's paychecks and my paychecks. And for August is a 3 paycheck month for me, and that shows our total income here. And then there's a section for giving. We do tithe, and we actually tithe 10% of our gross income. Household expenses. Now, instead of just having this as household, I did change it, and if you need to change a section, you can just click here and type it in, and I wanted to use it as household expenses instead of just, you know, housing, or broken down as housing, transportation, all that. I've got it all together, all of our household expenses listed. And if you see over here where it color codes each category, and it'll show you the percentages where you're spending your monthly income. So here, if you see, like, our mortgage is due August 1st, that due date is in there, and it's easy to put that due date in there. Once you, I'll go down here real quick. Once you add an item, I'll click that, and you do a label. You can label it, just say rent. And then you can actually, and just say it's $500. You can go up here for rent, and you can set your due date. And if it's on the 1st, you can click the 1st, and you can have it repeat every month, and then you can click set due date. So I'm not going to do that. I just want to show you. And if to delete a actual item off your list, just click on it, and that little trash can comes up, and just hit yes, delete. Okay. So I'm going back up here up under our household expenses. Like I said, everything household related as far as our housing expenses, that bills that we actually pay out, I put it up under here, with the exception of our food and our household supplies, and I'll show you that a little later. So I went ahead and put in, of course, our internet. Amazon Prime is once a year, and it is coming up. The subscription is renewing August 5th, so that's a one-time expense until the next year. On down here, lawn service. Now, I did not put a due date for lawn service because we get our lawn service twice a month or every 2 weeks. We try to keep it at twice a month or every 2 weeks. And it's at $110, but that is the planned expense, which is $110. So we'll get 2 cuts for the month of August. And I did not put a due date there. For our auto, gas, and oil, if you're new here, and if you haven't watched my actual August budget video, the pen and paper, I explained that this is our actual household account. And how my husband and I, what we've decided to do is allocate a portion of our paychecks to this joint account. We still have our personal account where we handle our personal expenditures, and we actually allow ourselves one fill up per month. So the gas here, it should be one fill up. And then after that, then of course it comes out of our personal accounts. So that is why that is there. And we always put a budget buffer in there just in case any expenses pop up that were not planned, and just hope that that budget buffer covers it. Now this account has more than the income in it, but as far as this budgeting the $46.88, it has a buffer in it, meaning August budget has a $150 buffer. That does not mean that the account doesn't have money in it. It does have money in it, but as far as this particular budget, there is a buffer built into this particular budget for this month. Now going down to here where for food, I kept this category because I really want to get the food budget down, and I want to track how much, how much we're spending, and just kind of get a deeper visual on the groceries. So I do have that out in this separate category, and then over here it'll calculate, of course, the percentage of what we're spending for food. And I really want to see that because I'm really trying to get that food budget down. And we do have $700 right now planned for food. And household supplies, now that should be under food, and I'm going to show you how you can move these sections up and down. So if you hover over beside household supplies, it turns into, there's a plus sign, black plus sign. If you click on it and just drag up, and release, then it'll move it to where you want it to go. So the next one is household supplies, and I used to have this included in food, but I wanted to track this also, so I just kind of took that out, and it could encompass toiletries, any of our household supply, cleaning supplies, our soaps, all of that. So I just kind of allocated $60 to that. And here, savings funds. Now in the original, if you don't have the EveryDollar app, when you actually set up your account and you start to set up your budget, the savings is up under it comes after the giving category, and it automatically has emergency fund as a actual line item. Now what I did, I moved it down, and this actually mirrors the August paper pen budget. So I moved this all the way down, and I changed the title. And like I said, you can click on it and you can change and type whatever title you want. If you want to delete the whole group, you can delete this whole group. But I just changed it to savings funds. You may have heard of sinking funds, but they're savings funds, and that's what we actually call them, savings funds. And we have a savings funds for our household savings that we set up. So what we did, we went ahead and set up an auto draft from our household joint savings checking account to our savings account once a month. And we starting out with $25, and eventually we will increase that, but we're starting out with $25. And again, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I want to explain that prior to July 2019, my husband paid the majority of our bills out of a separate account. I paid our food, light bill, and I focused on debt in another account, separate account. So as of July, we've decided to allocate a portion of our paychecks to a joint household account. So, and we pay all of our expenses out of our household expenses out of the household account. And so far it's working really good for us. We are, on one accord, trying to make sure that we're working together with our finances, and I'm enjoying that, and he's enjoying it as well. So that's why you see household there. So that's automatically on August 30th. It goes to our savings account, that $25. And as tuition, Also, I explained in our why we started our debt-free journey video. If you have not seen that video, I encourage you to check it out as well. But we are cash flowing our son's college tuition, and we are putting in some extra funds into his college savings account so that we can kind of keep that account beefed up. So that's what we're doing. We're just trying to beef it up a little bit more, but we are cash flowing his tuition, which it does kind of slow our process of paying more on our debt, but hey, that's where we're at now. So we're just having to make it work. So right down here for vacation, we have a retreat / vacation that we're going to go to in October, and we have been saving for 6 months for this. We are not putting anything on credit cards. Our credit card debt has been paid, and we're just not trying to finance a vacation on credit cards. So we've been saving for 6 months, and we want to go ahead for August, put some money in that account, and also for September put a little bit more money into the savings account for our vacation. It is temporary, but it will, after we are finished with that, it'll allow us, that extra monies, it'll allow us to put more money on paying down our debt. And we're focused on our HELOC right now, which is our home equity line of credit. So, which gets us down to the debt category, and that's why I have HELOC extra payment, and that's $53.19. I'll scroll up if you notice that the HELOC is listed in here. The regular payment is $125 per month, and it's due on the 28th. So any extra I put down here, $53.19. Now I do want to show you, now when I click on this, it comes up because it actually is tracking our we're tracking our balance with the debt, the HELOC debt. Now every dollar, this is one of the pet peeves that I do have, you cannot go back in the free version. You cannot go back, let's say July, and update the balance. You can only update your balance in that same month. So this balance is up to date. $52.94.13 is what we owe, and I did not put a minimum payment here. It shows 0 because we already have the minimum payment in our actual expenses. I wanted to show the total extra payment as such, and I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So if I put here, the minimum payment is $125, and I save it, for some reason that extra payment 0, I don't like seeing that as 0. So I don't know if it's like wanting to calculate whether or not I paid the $125 and not truly paying the extra. So because the $125 is already accounted for in our household expenses, I just put minimum payment as 0. And then that way the $53.19 that's planned, it is truly showing up as an extra payment. And that's what I just want to be able to show, the extra payment. The monthly payment is going to be paid regardless. And that's pretty much it. But I will show you here, if you have the paid version, you go up here to accounts. You can do a free 15-day trial, and then after the 15 days they will charge you. Now again, we're not doing the paid version. We have the free version, and it works just fine for us. And I do like the plan. It's tracking our money spent once we actually put in the category, the transaction. And just for instance, for hubby paycheck, just say that the income came in, we can go over here to I I can add a new transaction for income, and I can say, and it automatically puts it there, hubby's check, and I can say it was $11.50, and then I can click track income, and it'll show that it was received. Okay, so it has not been received. So what I want to do is click on that and delete this transaction, and it puts us back to zero. But that's just an example of how to track the expenses. And you can also, or income, you can also click here to enter transactions, add new item, and you can, whether it's an expense or an income, you can track it here as well. You can enter your transactions. Over here, the baby steps. Again, this is the Dave Ramsey baby steps. There's 7 steps. If you click here, you'll see step 1 is $1,000 emergency fund. And of course, we have emergency funds, which is more than $1,000. We're just not tracking it in the EveryDollar app because, again, July we actually started combining a portion of our paychecks, but we do have savings funds. But for the purpose of this video, the baby steps, if you're doing the actual Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps, the first step is to save $1,000 emergency fund, and that's just for unexpected events that may happen. Again, it's your choosing if you decide to save more. Some people do try to save more because if you have an emergency, just say if you lost your job, and if your rent or your mortgage is more than $1,000, then the $1,000 emergency fund really won't cover that. But again, it's just a starter emergency fund. That's your baby step 1. And then in baby step 2 is to pay off all debt using the debt snowball. And what the debt snowball is you're paying your bills from the smallest to the largest, okay? No matter what the interest rate is, you're paying based on the smallest to the largest as far as the balance. For baby step 3, it's saving 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then that's, of course, after you've completed baby step 2. You move on to baby step 3. And then after you've completed baby step 3, you move into baby step 4, which is saving 15% for retirement. And then step 5, after you finish step 4, is the college fund for kids. And then step 6 is pay off the house. And then step 7 is to build wealth and give and live like no one else. So we are we're out of sync with the baby step because, again, we are funding our son's college education. When we started this, of course, these steps are they're great steps, starting points, but for us, it doesn't quite align with our lifestyle, what we have going on now. So we're definitely using the debt snowball to pay off our debt, but we're also kind of in reverse. We're at cash flowing our son's education. So again, it's a starting point, it's a great foundation, but make sure that everything that you do, it fits your lifestyle. This is a personal journey. So again, that's that, but I do like this in the EveryDollar app. All right, so that is all that I have for you today. Again, if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any videos that I upload. I would like to know, what are you using to track your monthly expenses? Are you using an Excel spreadsheet? Do you use the EveryDollar budget app or some other type of budget tracking? Please let me know. Comment down below and let me know what you're using. All right, until next time, see you later.